Good morning or good afternoon, wherever you are. Today, we're going to go through 6 things to do to make sure you get paid by clients. All of my friends are currently struggling with this, and I've struggled with this in the past too, just making sure that I get paid on time or that I get paid at all. I've probably lost at least like 20 to 40K over this, which, that's a real life MBA cost. So if it's happened to you, it's happened to most of my friends, most entrepreneurs that I know. Actually, pretty much every entrepreneur I know that's still going has had some sort of problems with this. So don't feel bad. It's just your real life MBA cost. That's the way that I like to think of it. It's like tuition in business and in life. Um, there's someone that I talked to one time who said something really wise to me. He owns like a bunch of businesses. It's really cool. He goes, in school, you get the lesson and then you get the test, but in life, you get the test and then you get the lesson. So seriously, don't beat yourself up if this is you, but I have 6 things that I have now implemented to protect myself more. Obviously, any business transaction, there's still going to be a small chance that someone doesn't pay you, but these things help me get paid on time personally. And I have great clients, they do a good job of paying me, and I just want to walk through with you some of the things that I implemented because like I said, this has happened to me. I've let people not pay me. I've let people future promise me for a while. And especially early on in my business, I was like, I just wanted the experience anyway. So I justified that. But after a certain point, you should be getting paid for your work or you should feel okay walking away. Like I literally felt guilty about quitting on people who weren't paying me. I don't have that at all now. I like the other day, you know what? I'll get into it and then I'll tell my little stories because it probably goes along with these. Number one is have a contract. I'm very much like a trusting person and I just want to work with people that I trust, blah, blah, blah. Warren Buffett even has this saying where it's like, if the contract needs to be longer than 1 page, you shouldn't be working with that person, which my contracts are longer than 1 page, but not too much longer. But having a contract just gives you some sort of legal protection if for whatever reason something happens, you do have a case. You have something and that other person knows that as well, where it's like if you wanted to come for them, you could, which for most people will build some sort of sense of responsibility or like wanting to avoid a lawsuit. So there you go. At least have some sort of contract. Mine are pretty basic. I don't even do DocuSign. Like I literally just send over a Google Doc, but it still works for me. And I found that ever since I started implementing contracts and making things clear, it also allows me to do number 2 better, which is enforcing boundaries, right? So for example, this is an example I was going to give. I had a client recently, they're supposed to pay me on the 30th of each month, and the 30th came, and normally it's like I wake up and the money's in my account, and this time that didn't happen. So um, I went to them and I said like, hey, like I've noticed this. I just want to give you the warning that if it's not in my account by tomorrow, I don't work without getting paid. And now I say that so easily. That was really hard for me. And so the next day, they sent me an email throughout the day. They communicated with me that it wasn't going to hit my bank account until Tuesday because they had a problem. They were working on fixing it. I said, okay, fine. Just send me a screenshot that you sent it today, and I'll like I won't stop services. But if I don't receive this, then I'm gonna not show up tomorrow. And I didn't get that screenshot by the time my first meeting was tomorrow. I didn't go. Do you know how hard that was for me? You're probably listening to this. If you resonate with my content, if you're here because you're like me and you think about that, it is hard to just not show up for a meeting, especially when you're someone who you're on time, you're consistent, you don't like not being at things. But guess what? I got my screenshot within 4 minutes, and I know for a fact that those people know that they can't mess around with my payments, right? Because I actually enforced the action. So number 3 is get paid by card. So this is like if you have something like Stripe. I don't always get paid by card just because I don't like to pay the fees. But if you are able to get someone's card, just have a card on file, and you can even put into the contract, like if I don't receive a payment from you from the bank, then I'm going to charge the card on file. This is a great way to protect yourself, so at least you can charge some sort of payment, right? And then you have the contract to back it up with any credit card companies, if there's any like dispute filed. Number 5 is get paid in bigger chunks. Like you can incentivize this. For example, I give like a 10% discount, or I give like incentives to people who pay 6 months up front. This helps on so many levels. Number 1 is like if people are paying you less, you have more time to prove yourself. And it's not like every single month when you get paid, they're like assessing your performance, asking if it's worth it, which that's fine too. But like, we're not perfect. We're people, right? Even if, because we're independent contractors and we're not employees, though, people can tend to really just always be questioning our value and thinking of us as expendable. So if you are able to get that 6-month payment up front, I found that it's really awesome. And then you also get a big chunk of money up front. So that's all awesome. And you just don't have to worry. It's pretty good. I really, really like getting paid in big chunks up front. So I always like offer incentives around that. Number 6 is to charge interest in the contract. So for example, if a payment's late, or if the invoice is late more than X amount of days, I don't work without getting paid at all, but like if it's late X amount of days, then you can start charging interest. Like a common figure I see is like 1%, which isn't a ton, but then you get extra money just for waiting if it is the case. So charging interest is just something nice to put in there just to protect yourself a little bit more. I do want to say, like, my last tip. So my last tip, number 6, is getting paid fully up front. So a mistake that I see is that people get paid after the month. So for example, they'll work a month and then get paid, work a month, then get paid. There's one client that I do that for, but they put me on payroll, essentially. Like I'm still a contractor, but they put me on payroll. And so if you get paid up front, it really protects you. And if someone's not willing to do that, then you just say like, hey, not a fit. Like you deserve to be paid, and just protect yourself and keep yourself like safe and afloat for all your bills. I will say with that though, you want to make sure that you have an errors and omissions policy for business insurance, just in case anyone does fight anything that you've done, and you want to make sure that you're keeping good records. But getting paid up front is probably the number one thing that helped protect me. It's super uncommon actually to charge at the end of the month for this sort of stuff. So definitely getting paid up front is the way to go. I hope this helped you. It wasn't a super long video, but hopefully it saves you money that I lost. So if it did help you, like this video, leave a comment down below asking me any questions. And yeah, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you next time.